Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So I have a question for you. Who do you have in your corner? Who do you have that you can call on, that you can reach out to, that you can text, that you can whatever, communicate with, that will sometimes keep you in check, but sometimes entertain your indulgences? So what do I mean by this? So this morning, last night actually, I was having an honest conversation with my husband. We have honest conversations all the time, but I was having a conversation with something that I was struggling with. And this morning he got up and left for work, and it was still kind of bothering me what we had talked about. And so I called a girlfriend, and immediately I was like, hey, I need some wisdom. I really wanted to be petty. I really wanted to be like, my inner child wanted to win and be like, right? Like, it's where I was. But I knew that I really just needed some wisdom. And so I called my girlfriend and I said, hey, like right out of the gate, I was like, I'm so excited that you answered the phone. I could use some wisdom. And so I kind of gave her a little bit of the backstory. She's familiar with the situation, we'll call it. And so I gave her some backstory, some recent backstory as to what was going on. And I said, how do I proceed? I said, because I really want to be nasty. Like I kind of want to go into this situation guns blazing and just kind of rip everybody a new one and also give them a big F you as I walk in, right? Like that's where I was at. And what was funny was she goes, well, that might be warranted. And I was like, well, yeah, you're right. She was like, but let's talk through this a little bit. And I was like, thank you. So we talked through it a little bit, and it just brought me so much more peace, because that's what I wanted in this situation. That's actually what I prayed for this morning, was some peace in this situation, because it's taking up a whole lot of mental energy. And I just wanted peace in the situation. And so that's what she gave me. She said, you know what? This actually isn't something for you to handle. This is better handled by your husband. And I was like, huh. Okay. Explain. And so she went into a little bit more detail. And she said, you can go in there guns blazing, but it's not going to do anything. She was like, your husband actually needs to stand up on this one. And maybe you two spend some time having this conversation about it and, figure out how to best approach this. And I was like, yeah, I kind of just want to run away. And she was like, well, I mean, you could, but the situation's still going to be there. And I was like, okay, fine. So who do you have in your corner, right? Because she was there for me for the wisdom, right? She's also been there for me for the pettiness, where I've been like, you know what? I kind of want to be really petty. Let's talk about it. And she gets a good giggle out of it, right? My brother is also another one of these people where I can call him and be like, I am about to lose it on my husband. And he'll be like, okay, let's talk about it, right? Or I'll be like, you will never believe what just happened to me. And he'll get a good giggle out of that as well, right? So I have several girlfriends that I can call on. I also use my mother when I want to be really petty and I'm looking for that maternal wisdom. My mother gives really great advice. Unfortunately, she doesn't always take it. But that's okay, because I don't need her to take all of her advice in order for her to give me good advice. And so I find that just this beautiful dichotomy. And maybe some people are like, well, why the heck wouldn't she take her own advice? My mother is wise. I think that kind of comes with age, right? My father is also very wise, and I will reach out to them. I have a great support community. I have mentors in my back pocket. I have friends in my back pocket. I have family members in my back pocket where I know that if I'm struggling with something, I can reach out to one of those people and I can get a different perspective on it. And yeah, sometimes I don't like their answers. Sometimes I don't like the advice that they give me because I'm feeling like I really want to be super petty. Right? But the wisdom that I get from the people that are in my back pocket, the people, my cheerleaders, so to say, is so beneficial. And yeah, my husband is a great person for that. I have some really great friends for this as well. When I am speaking to men in this situation, so my dad, my brother, my husband, some of our really good friends, when I call them for support, I have to be explicit about what it is that I'm looking for. And this is actually going to be a future episode about masculine and feminine energies, but men will just automatically want to fix it. Women tend to be much better listeners, right? We can just kind of get in there and really know how you're feeling right out of the gate. Men definitely want to fix it. They're like, oh, this is a problem, let me fix it, right? Whereas women are like, oh, this is a problem, let's talk about it, right? And sometimes you want the fix-it energy. Sometimes you just want to talk about it, though. And so you do have to get clear about that with the people that you love. My daughter did this and just did it last week to me. She got in the car, and I love her. And I feel bad that I do this, but oftentimes I just go into fix-it mode with her. And she got in the car the other day and she started talking about something, and I had started to go into fix-it mode, and she goes, I just need you to listen. And I was like, okay, I'll listen. And I did. And I just listened. It was kind of hard for me. I'm not going to lie, right? But that's what she wanted. And I loved that she actually stood up for herself in that instance and said, this is actually what I want, Mom. I just want you to listen. And I was like, okay, cool, listen, right? You've got to be willing to do that for yourself, because otherwise then you're just going to get frustrated and think that no one's actually listening to you when you're not actually being clear about what it is that you want. And so the people that are in your corner, the people that are your cheerleaders, be clear with them about what they want, what you want. This morning, I wanted wisdom. Sometimes I call my mom and I'm like, I want to be really petty. And we'll go back and forth with these really petty kind of things that we could do, right? And then we agree that we need to be the bigger person and we're not going to be super petty about it, right? But like, it's nice to be able to have those conversations about anything, right? Like, even if it's as silly as like, you want to be petty about, the person that cut you off, or, you want to be petty about, your husband left the socks on the floor, something like that, right? Like, we all have that in us, and we just can kind of laugh at it. I don't make it wrong. I don't act on it all the time. I don't act on it. I usually will, when I'm feeling really spiteful, I'll reach out to somebody, or I'll laugh at myself about it, right? There are a group of people that I can reach out to and be like, so I was thinking about doing this, and they're like, you were what? Well, I was irritated, so I thought that this would be a good idea. And they're like, you can't. And I'm like, I know, but wouldn't it be really funny if I did? Right? Like, you're human. We're going to have these emotions where we want to feel petty, where we want to do something that's childish, right? And we have plenty of moments where we're like, you know what, we need to be the bigger person, even though we don't want to be the bigger person in this moment. So who do you have that's supporting you? Who are your cheerleaders where you can be like, you know what? I need wisdom today. I'm going to call so-and-so. I need strategy today. I'm going to call so-and-so. I need to get back into alignment. I need to call so-and-so. I need to find more joy. I'm going to call that person, right? Now, it's cool if there's one person for all of these things. That's awesome. I love that for you. I have different, right? I have a lot of, there's several people that I can do all the things with. And then there's other people where I just do a couple of those things with, right? But I have people that are on my side. And that's so important, especially when you're doing the work on yourself, because it can feel exhausting and it can feel lonely. And it can feel like you're the only one who's doing something to try to make a relationship better. And it can get tiring to feel like you're doing it all on your own. And it may not show up initially. People might not see the difference right away. But I promise you the work that you're doing on yourself is going to absolutely be worth it. Because you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for your relationships. You're doing it for your kids. You're doing it for all the people on social media that follow you and watch you. The work that you're doing has a ripple effect. And it doesn't matter how many people see it in the beginning. It doesn't matter how many likes you get, how many people unfriend you, unfollow you, whatever it is. Because the work that you're doing for yourself is going to have a greater impact, far bigger than you. And so on the days where it feels like it doesn't matter, on the days that it feels like you could just revert to being petty and lazy and all the other things that you're trying to undo, it matters. It matters that you keep going for you. It matters that you keep going for your kids and your relationships and your family and your friends. And it matters that you keep going for the world. So, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye, love.